I thought you made a great observation. I was wondering where it stemmed from. Was it the comments or just the energy around Tobe Nwigwe's last drop? Um,
Whew.
where I so I guess I refrain from the conversation around, especially him, uh,
Hmm.
because I identify so much as both a fan and someone who aspires to carry a similar message. Um, and nigga, if it's Thizzler, if it's Twitter, Tobe, my shit, and anybody that's on some like I love black people for real, stay away from Thizzler and World Star, my nigga, because they do not give a fuck at all. If your shit is promoting any kind of wellness and health of black people, them toxic motherfuckers is gonna eat you alive.
Yeah.
Where did your take stem from? And if you don't mind, just recapping and sharing it too.
Yeah. So my take like originated because he dropped. I think it was I forgot what it's called. Is it addressing criticism? I think was the first one. So they put out two songs, and both of them were addressing. So my first thing was I saw the song and I was like,
Uh-oh. You there, B?
and then I
You could
listened to the
you cut out
story
for a
of
sec,
it.
B.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you back. What you
Okay.
the two songs and then what?
Yeah, so they had like dropped the two songs, and when listening to the words, I was like, wait, like this is obviously a rebuttal to something, and so then I started looking up like what happened, and it's old, it's resurfacing, but it's basically a video of them talking about their love story or whatever, and it got re-brought up somehow. I don't know why, but a lot of a lot of women particularly gave a lot of criticism to his wife, basically saying that when they first had met, she kind of just like she basically said like I knew that this was like my partner, and he wasn't really like feeling her. He was like, "Nah, I'm good," and she, kind of propositioned herself multiple times, and he was like, "No, I'm cool." So she's like, "Okay, great. Well, then we'll be friends." And they chose to be friends. And then at some point, he was like, "Well, let me give it a shot, whatever." And then their love story went the direction it's gone now. And there were a lot of women basically saying like, "Oh yeah, you're just." She was basically being like a pick me girl, and yeah, so it was so interesting because it was such a backlash. Because I'm like, why is this worth them going to make a song? And I was like, oh wow, this was like a lot of negative backlash that happened by the both of them just kind of being honest about what their journey and their story was. Which
Right.
first of all, I was like, if they're happily married, why do y'all give a fuck? But
Right.
nonetheless, I just thought two things was really interesting to me. Was one is that if this was reversed, women would be all over. To me, the reverse situation is like every romantic comedy. So, like,
Right.
if it was a situation where he said, "Hey, I'm into you," and she was like, "Nah, I'm cool," but he kept like, you know, persisting, as women would call it, and then at some
Every
point,
rom com,
she,
yeah.
yeah, at some point she decided, "Oh, maybe I'll give it a try," and they fell in love. It's considered a fucking love story of the century, but like this other way around, women are then hating on this woman. And I thought that was so weird and kind of like backwards and fucked up. But then it also made me think of like a lot of the comments they were referring to like how he was kind of referencing her because he said basically something along the lines of like, yeah, she kept trying to talk to me. And he referred to her jokingly as like Roger for sister sister. And when we're like, oh, he's so disrespectful, like all of this stuff that I'm like, I'm sure it was a joke because they both laughed at the comment when he said it. But nonetheless, it was like, you shouldn't disrespect her and all these things. But it made me think too, like him, man, this video that they even brought up is when they were engaged. So it's years and years ago. And him now are two different people. And I'm going like, where is the grace and space for growth? And I'm like, are people not able to recognize like the space needed for growth because they haven't grown? And so
Mm,
you don't have a reference for what growth like feels or looks like? Or
mm,
like, because I just go like, why is there never like space for the fact that people can grow and change and and mature or make different decisions? And why are we so hard or so quick to like criticize and tear down. I'm like, does that come from a space of like, if you haven't actually had to go through the pains of growing, then maybe you're not able to recognize growth.
Mm. Oh man, I so couple things because I'm lock in step with you. However, I just for the life of me got to take it to sicko mode because me and teen been debating this shit for the last 3 weeks
over that topic.
Not that topic, but how sick women are.
Got
it. Like and not obviously this.
That's a hell of a topic, by the way.
Not general, not general all women, but the just bruh, like don't be happy around your hoe partners. And not the hoe partners that identify as hoes and is doing their thing and would never, ever undermine your happiness. Bitch, you happy, do your thing. But I'm for the streets right now. There's levels to this. But the ones that's broken, oh, come with me. come with me. I'm on your ass. And it's not just women. That shit applies to broken people in general. So let me stop. Let me stop playing. And it makes for a really fucked up conversation. And from a male standpoint, I can't tell you the difference the difference in approaches in ownership around being around some niggas who are at the married or whatever the fuck you got going on. Them niggas is trying to take accountability for their shit. So the last thing they're gonna be is like, yeah, if they're not promoting or propping up sucker shit ever. Nigga, stand up, take care of your responsibilities, be about your ones. Oh, you need to go home right now. You need to go take care of that. Go do that and promote that. Bruh, this rap shit is the last place for Tobe and Fat and what they're trying to promote. Growth in marriage and unity and all this shit. Yeah, right. Nope, not here. It's still the kid B Walk sent me the shit from the kid. I forget the kid that has a song, but he's breaking down his lyrics on Genius. And the first few bars is fuck the bitch on the PJ in the Rari, and he's breaking down each bar, each phrase, and he goes, "Yeah, I got a girlfriend, bro. Leave me alone. Stay out of my DMs. I've never been on the PJ. I've never been." Oh, and so then who then benefits from it? And it seems like such low hanging fruit to go. Yeah, the white man got an attack and all of this shit. That's not them writing and creating this shit though. Albeit Vlad and
I was about to say it's the Vlad argument.
Yeah. Albeit Vlad and Adam 22 have this weird fetish with black folks, and I get it. I get that part. However, it's some niggas right now in the studio on a Sunday morning going in they mama crib making a character right now and about killing hella niggas and fucking hella bitches and ain't doing neither one. And Empire, whoever the fuck is gonna get him 30,000 real quick, some studio time, and put another 50 behind that shit, and it's gonna generate another 1 million kids thinking that that's the lick. Meanwhile, how on earth do you man, woman, or other go watch anything Tobe Nwigwe and his wife are generating as far as content, storytelling, music, and Nell, shout out Nell, the whole team? How can you sit there and have anything bad to say? Like you know how sick you got to be to go find something wrong with them? And that's the internet. And that's the internet for you. At that rate, you could just have it, bro. You can have all this goofy ass rap shit. You can have it all, because the shit that gets fast tracked to the top, the way the algorithm is working. We were talking about censorship the other day in our meeting, and they're like, "Monty, you just look disinterested." I'm like, "Fam, I just saw somebody get murdered on my timeline, and y'all talking to me about censorship. It don't matter. It is entirely too far gone. You be talking to me about euphoria. If you can't coach your kids through euphoria, my nigga, guess what? You don't need. Because we had kids.
Mm-hmm.
The black box for the satellite had just come out, so we had all the porn channels. Hey man, we gotta have a talk with you. Because you just out here with a little misinformation. So let me,
it ain't as easy as going to deliver a pizza.
Yeah, it don't work. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. Oh man, and it reminds me a lot of my sentiments around religion. Hey man, me and Teen's mom made a pact at the beginning of the year to just read the Bible at our own pace. So if she get ahead of me, I get ahead of her. We shared scripture and all that shit. And Reeg has been really cool about tapping in and sharing scripture and really breaking it down. Dog, the Bible is an awesome ass book. Like, there's no way around that. It is incredibly written. The stories are fire. But in the hands of goofy humans, I 100% get it.
The Book of Eli.
The Book of Eli. The Book of Eli, the Gospel of Judas. What's the other one? The myth. I forget the eight. It's like an 8-part series breaking down the myth of the book, and it's going, hey, this is not to be taken literal. These are just really great stories, and our country is governed off of them. Like the Bible is quoted in parts of the Constitution. Fam, this is crazy. So that part of me doesn't. I said I went on all that because part of me wants them to not even dignify it because they're not only are they attempting to, they're doing something. They're doing a service. They're doing a service for our people. That there are days and times where the sick part of me doesn't obviously, again, this is gonna sound general, but there are parts of the internet and culture that subscribe to bullshit that don't deserve Fat, Tobe, and Nail for me. Like I love that we're fans of him. I get to talk. I remember when I found out Lex was a fan. I was like, wait a minute, you fuck with him? And then Reg hit me on this. I'm like, oh, okay. Some of the best people I know are fans of these. Like, y'all deserve them, but the rest of the world, nah. And I know that's a crazy take to have, but
isn't that how these things kind of go now, though? Like you're kind of shooting for a niche market. Like you're looking to create a tribe and just run it up in
that space,
in the like space or whatever. But if your goal in mind or in heart is to go to mainstream, like to pop culture, which means everyone, then you're susceptible to all of the backlash and all of the randomness that comes with that. So if their goal is to get to as many ears and eyes and cater to, at some point you're going to end up having to cater to, which sounds like it's not something that's going to be on their radar. So it's going to be talk points, of course, but I don't think it really affects them too much.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong. He seemed kind of pressed in the video. No?
About the response?
In the response video, yeah.
No, I mean, because he didn't, like, the original video that they were talking about is, like, posted on her page. It was from a while ago. It got re-brought up, but they did release 2 songs.
I'm sorry, the songs. I mean the songs, yeah.
Yeah, they are.
So the songs are a response.
Addressing it.
The songs are a response.
Yes.
Got it.
Are direct responses to that. But I will say this, though, in the same vein. Yes, they addressed it, but these niggas about to make a bag. Like,
okay.
The second song, the Unfollow Me one that he just dropped today, I'm like, oh, that's going to go viral on TikTok. No, like, easy.
Go,
like,
but start.
They created 2
start
songs
there.
that, like, are easily about to get them a bag and let them say what they got to say.
I don't like how the unhealthy, sick ass niggas get to kind of just be macho bravado. Start with the Unfollow Me shit. Fuck y'all then. Like, just start there. Like, stop holding grace for sick niggas, bro. Let them niggas die where they are, bro. I don't care who you are.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
Fuck out of here.
Like my mentality is fairly simple when it comes to dealing with the grand scheme of humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think as far as like your chakra, like what is consistent to you, if you're staying along that line, then by all means you'll be a-okay, like mentally. You know, we were not meant to communicate with this many people
Hell
at once.
no.